Hello, my friend. Your buddy Phil here, project management training coach. Wanted to give you some insights about the definition of ready versus done. Now, the definition of ready just means, is the user story ready to be worked on? It's that simple. If it's not ready, it's not ready. And if it's not ready, you shouldn't be working on it, right? You should have already seen the train coming from the previous sprint. You should have seen, uh-oh, this story isn't ready. So there's absolutely no reason to consider a not ready story in sprint planning. It shouldn't even come up. The definition of done means, is the increment done? And is it done such that the customer can inspect it? It's that simple. So definition of ready, I want to put it on the screen here. Definition of ready is the story ready to be worked on in the upcoming sprint? You want to get your stories to the point where you can work on them in the next sprint. The definition of done just means, is the increment, not story, is the increment done, as in the practices and work we deem mandatory complete. We're talking about things like, has it been tested, for example? Have we done, and it could be a number of testing, right? You could say unit testing, user tested, black box tested, smoke tested, all that stuff. You could say, is the documentation complete, right? Has it been peer reviewed? Has good engineering practices being followed? If these things have all been completed, for example, I mean, there's a lot more, but if all those things have been completed, for example, you could say, oh yes, the increment is done. Note, I didn't say the story is done. I said the increment. So the definition of done, the way you should be thinking about it is it pertains to the increment. The definition of ready, you want to be thinking about this as it pertains to the readiness of the story to be worked on. It's that simple. All right, now the next question. This question is muddying the waters a little bit. There's absolutely no reason to join both in your consideration. So this is, does this relate to lead time, cycle time, things of that nature? It shouldn't really be a topic to be worried about. Why? Because when you talk about lead time, we're talking about the time that it takes you to work on something, right? If you got a request in to the backlog, ain't nobody timing you to say, it's going to 3 weeks now. No one's doing that. No one's doing that. So this is a different way of thinking, okay? If you get a user story coming in for a request, no one has the right to time you and say, oh, well, we've been waiting this long and you haven't done. No, that's not how it works in the world of Scrum. Now, in the world of DevOps, let's say a ticket came in and you were trying to figure out what the ticket actually means or how to tackle the ticket. We don't use the definition ready, right? That's not a definition we use, because remember, this is really more in the world of flow-based stuff. So the bottom line is a ticket comes in the order of priority, it's going to be prioritized. When we're able to get to it, we get to it. If it's a big ticket item, it gets done. If we're struggling with getting it done, we're doing our best. You see, the way we think about these things in Agile is different from the way we think about things in traditional. This is not a game of we need to do it as short as possible at all costs. No, because there are higher priority items that might be in the backlog. So as it relates to lead time, let's go back, because again, I want to make it very clear that these two definitions, we don't want to muddy the waters. We typically use this, especially in the world of Scrum. especially. You don't hear this being used often in Kanban, except you have teams doing some sort of hybrid. It's not even a concern for your exam. So let's get that out of the way. But as far as if you get a ticket in and you're trying to figure out what exactly we need to do to solve this ticket, of course, that will add to your lead time. But we don't say we need to get this ticket ready for work. No, we don't use that terminology in DevOps. We don't use that terminology in Kanban. Teams might be doing a hybrid. They might use those terminologies, but we don't. Okay, so I hope this clears the air for you. Again, this is not a topic to be worried about on the exam. What you do need to know for the exam is definition of ready, definition of done. Cycle time, lead time, know the definitions, and it's as simple as that, okay? As far as any other questions relating to this, it said response time. Obviously, the time it takes you to respond is already built into the concept of lead time, okay? The idea of how long it takes you to do something is built into the concept of cycle time, okay? Again, nothing for you to worry about on the exam. These are all topics that are in some way not bunched or bundled together. I hope that makes sense. Bye for now.